All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be getting started in just a minute. Letting people get on board. So if you got this, go ahead and share it, like it, thumbs up, do the work, help out. We're talking about transformations tonight. We're talking about understanding why pain is important and how you can use it. So hang in there. We're sharing it around right now. Just give me a moment. We'll be getting going. Thank you, everybody. Yes, it is true. Pain has purpose. So stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. We're talking about concepts here in Decode Your Pain. How to make sense of your symptoms and start living your best life. So bear with us and let's get going. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. We are live. I'm checking in the volume here. Make sure everything's coming in loud and clear. Let's check over here as well. How we looking? How we doing? I got some additional setups, but want to bring you a great presentation today. So we're talking about pain. We're talking about what its purpose is. Why is it useful? Hanging in there. We're gonna get going in just a moment. Make sure I'm coming in loud and clear. Give me some thumbs up. I got the chat up, so let me know I'm coming in good. And we'll continue. So let me start with this. We have this idea here that we want to help us understand the concept of concepts, where we get our beliefs, where we get our understanding of life, where we see the world. You know, we've heard this conversation of the glass half empty and the glass half full. This is what we're talking about. How does someone learn to look at life that way? That's an important piece here, because this is going to relate to your pain, your problems in life, your difficulties in life. And actually, that's the answer is contained in that problem. So bear with me. All right, so let's go in there. All right, so we have our conceptions and our preceptions. Just think of the word for a second. Conception, right? That's when new life is formed, right, upon conception. Well, some people may debate that. However, we see under these different microscopes that when sperm meets egg, there's a flash of light at that moment. That's quite beautiful, in fact. And there's a spark of life. See, all these analogies you've heard talking about life, the philosophy classes, the metaphysics classes, the quantum physicists, these kind of people. We look at our everyday language and there's meaning in there. And sometimes it's very profound. So in the book, Decode Your Pain here, this one right here, we talk about these topics. Symptoms on the story, life is symbolic, intention and right use. Now, chapter 3 is about how to use your energy, how to understand this. And then chapter 4, you are energy. 5, this has to do with the concepts of a karma. So life is a man about, that's a famous doctor who discovered, who put infinity into computer when computer first came out. And they had put out very beautiful images that you've seen. And so Dr. Mandelbrot. Chapter 6, wake up to yourself being your own worst enemy and become your biggest ally. Chapter 7, the amazing powers of changing your beliefs about how you heal. Chapter 8, change your story, change your life. Chapter 9, life is perfect. And what I love to show everybody at home. Yes, life is perfect. I know it's a funny one. But what I like to show everybody, we're going to talk about this concept here about my old story and how I shifted a story. But is this part in the back of the book? In fact, if you go to Dr. Kevin Transformations, now I don't have it streaming across the bottom. Let me change that for everybody. But if you go to this other website I'm about to show. Oh my goodness. I'll edit that on the fly. drkevintransformations.com. I'll drop that in the chat. And you get to see this imagery of the body parts. Yep, the body parts, the emotional feelings that are connected to it, and the possible symbolism. Now, the possible symbolism, there's many meanings to things. Excuse me while I'm typing in the link, drkevintransformations.com. And what you are seeing that's to get the free introduction. Okay. And in fact, though, for those that are wanting that and more, I have so much to offer everybody. This website that's scrolling on the bottom is where all the offers are contained in one. So you'll be actually getting access to that free introduction as well as other things about mindset training, about other content, videos about what one can expect once they have set their intention, the laws of manifestation, the laws of successfully bringing something toward into a physical reality, not just the idea of it. The idea is just the beginning stages, but the actual physical reality of manifesting. How do we do that? And literally, our body is communicating with us about our intentions that we've set, and are we on the right path to getting them? While we're all navigating these waters of life, these oceans of life, the storms of life. See, everything I'm saying has deeper meaning. There's analogy, there's story, and if anyone was raised in any type of a biblical setting, Christian setting, Islamic setting, Muslim setting, where there's book, where there's stories, there's knowledge, wisdom contained in the historic Bible and many ancient texts, they're taught in story, taught in parable, they're taught in analogy, in metaphor. See, this is the nature of the left brain and the right brain. One's very literal and analytical. The other's very creative and esoteric and, well, metaphorical. It's the nature of the human body. It's the nature of life around us. So as we learn the principles in which this operates, this is why this slide's so important. Because we understand the concepts, how things operate in this world, then we can actually operate successfully. That's kind of like, when you played different board games for the first time, you were lost. Card games, same thing. Whatever the game may be. I love meeting. It's funny when I meet people that have never watched or played a specific sport that I've played, and I've played many sports in my life. However, it showing them or being part of, I'll say this, being part of their first experiencing watching a match live, a rugby match live, or watching a football game live, or of course on TV. I prefer live, but nonetheless, when someone's witnessing that, it's like chaos for them. They're watching chaos on TV or in real life, and they don't get it. And this is how I felt starting new sports before I've ever played. Now, in the United States, if you play baseball or football, you've kind of been walked into that. But I started playing sports I had no knowledge of. That was my first game, rugby. And as playing that, it was this complete confusion. But as I got steeped in the experiences and started watching and playing and talking about it, well, then I knew how to operate in it. Well, imagine the laws of life have been hidden from you. How to operate in a successful manner. Yet there's all kinds of content out there about putting it together. And my proposal to you is that your body, yes, your body has the wisdom contained within to know what to do. It's your intuition. It's that sixth sense. There's all kinds of things about it out there. And when we learn how to honor that, listen to that guidance, listen to that inner voice, when we learn how to do that, well, then you're guided. Because there's something within ourselves that wants us to be well and live well and experience good things and provide good things and all that. And if you're wanting more of that, well, then this is the kind of information for you. And how I started delivering this content was because I asked for greater transformation. I asked for healing. So in my growth in that endeavor, and I had special access because of my doctorate, because of the group of people I've trained with. And so as I kept moving forward in the levels of knowledge in that realm, I began to understand the human body in whole new ways. And I began to get more and more people better, regardless of the situation. So I would, I'd say in my early career, 15 years ago, got half my patients better. That's nice. But I wanted to, I'm like, wait a minute, there's something not right here. If I'm only helping people, 50% of my people won't get better for what they want. That means I didn't understand something. So I took it upon myself to really dive deep into all the things that what makes a human being. And boy, there's more coming. However, I feel I have a good grasp. And this is the nature of why I have what's called four foundations: mind, body, spirit, and soul. It's that conversation of how do we nurture and heal that area. This is through different specialties and different trainings that I've had. And you can go to my website to check all that out, what that is. Depending where you are on your laptop or your phone, you click this button right here. I have to call this the hamburger menu. And it drops down that. You read about my training, the people. I link to all the resources I honor and in my ongoing trainings. But I've been doing this special training lately called Neuro-Emotional Technique. It's phenomenal. It has tons of research studies about it. Not tons, but more than 30, maybe more than 40, I believe, right? And this is in a wave of other research coming out about neurology and psychoneuroimmunology, also known as psychoneuroendoimmunology. What this stuff means is everything in our body is wired together. It's harmonious with itself all at all levels. And if there's something that doesn't belong, well, then that's when we have interference. We know as symptoms and diagnoses. And a collection of symptoms and diagnoses, a symptoms is a diagnosis. But these symptoms are an expression of the human body. And the expression is of the physical level and of the mind level. And I didn't prepare this, but let's take a look. I'm going to pull up some images of the human aura. These things are being measured now. HeartMath Institute. We know this exists. Now people have artistic, difference, but here we are. I know this is an image. Oh wait, this little one. This one right here. I know this is an artist rendition, but this cameras that take this now. In fact, there's international government-funded institutes that are studying this material right now. It's beautiful. It's wonderful. So we are energy beings, and we haven't got to the story yet, but we're going to talk about tonight. Let's get into that action right now. We're going to be talking about purpose of pain. I had prepaid. Here it is. So it has to do with the slide of our concepts and our basically our foundational beliefs. So I highlighted this section, page 108 in the book. My old story had been that when people interfere with my plans, they are limiting or preventing me from excelling in my career. Now, as I dealt with that belief, I had to do work, first and foremost. I had to do work to figure out that I had that belief, that was my reality, that was something I held to be true. And when people interfere, when people are in my presence, they're actually interfering with my career, my plans. So that means I had an issue with being around others. I think many people have. Those are like, the lone wolf, or the people that are going about it their own way. I've been told it's called the Superman syndrome. All these kind of ideas about how people go their own way. And what I realized, and to the next level of degree, is that there was a event in my life that colored, if I could use an analogy here, colored the way I saw life. You may have heard another analogy. Rose-colored glasses. It's like you look, someone that can't see a problem. They only see the good in the scenario. They can't see a problem in the scenario. Now, I'm not saying we want to see a problem, but we have to be observant. We have to be able to be I don't, no one has to be able to be anything, but I invite you to consider to be successful. One needs to increase their observation skills versus their judgment skills and have a lower charge, like an energetic, like electrical charge. We want to have a lower charge around interacting with our experiences. One of the people I like to watch calls it being trigger proof. Um, I heard the concept many years ago, and of course it comes up frequently, is that when people cause an emotional response in you, well, they own you. You're triggered by them. And so my work is to be at peace regardless. This is my personal commentary in my life is I'm working and I found very successful ways and it evolved over years, but at having peaceful interactions regardless of what's happening in their life. And the quote I heard was it was a someone's desk, and it was a emergency on your part or unpreparedness on your part does not constitute an emergency for me. This is so true because I get people call my practice. Now, if you don't know me, who I am, I isn't who I am, but one of the roles in life I take on is a doctor of chiropractic, a holistic physician, a herbalist, healer of the mind and the body. And people call me in emergency situations, in crisis. And upon investigation, they have done nothing or very little, or have gotten so overwhelmed with life that it just had fallen away. Now they're at the point of, well, I don't want to say no return, but there's a lot of work when someone has done nothing for their physical health, well-being, or mindset, or nutrition, or detoxification for 40, 50, 60, 70 years. And they want one they want one session to make it all right. And that's okay. I understand. We want that now. We've been trained for this silver bullet scenario. It does not exist in reality. Not exist in reality. Sorry to say that. Sometimes it's a red pill for those that are standing. So our beliefs and concepts, okay? Our concepts are perceptions. They precede everything. You can see this. You can see this list over here. Pretty big list there. Especially our responses, our preferences, and our consequences. We only know the results of our choices, decisions, and actions and beliefs, and our behaviors and all that when the karma cycle comes around. Now that can be instant. We've seen instant, but sometimes when it's connected to the cosmology of life, the cycles of time, depending on this, like the clock on the hand, well, maybe that cycle takes 30 days to go around, or maybe that takes a year, like the sun cycle, 365 days. But maybe that cycle takes 30 years. Or maybe that cycle started because when two hands and like on a clock came together, it was a very specific time. Sometimes when it comes to the grand clock in the sky, that can take hundreds of years between patterns of presenting again. And one of the most interesting things in my practice I've noted over the last, say, 2-3 weeks, from people on their deathbed to young children, to people that are over 30, who were born before 1996, that have memories before 1996. People are talking about that time in their life right now. People are showing up with wounds and emotional issues from that time right now. And I don't, off the top of my head, know what components of the cosmological cycle that is. However, there's stuff connected now for 2008, year 2012, year 2006. Boy, it's like 1287, and there's other bigger cycles. I mean, we're talking some of these thousands of years of time and space coming together now. It's amazing. I'm in awe. I'm in absolute awe studying this material and witnessing it because I've been really focused on observing in my personal path of being trigger proof at that. And That's Dr. Ramani, for those that are interested in his work. Phenomenal stuff. He's an amazing guy. With that being said, these cycles of time that come around, and I've been observing it in my patients, and it's amazing how often people come back um, on a week by week, and they're talking about energy pattern that I'm studying day by day, and they've never heard it, they've never seen it, they've hardly ever considered it. Yet they're literally living it out. And I've been watching this and studying this majority of my life. Now, as a professional, really honing in the last 8 years now on this concept and watching it play out in people's lives, watching it play out in my own life. And that's where this book came from, actually. This one, right there. So for $10 on the website, and I want to give it away. I want the major concept, some of the major introductory concepts are in the free introduction. So I want people to have that. And I go on here Monday nights at 7 o'clock every week to talk about these concepts because, well, they're changing. They change you because I started having more personal responsibility with my life, and I had more ownership, which gave me more personal power, which translates to all kinds of things. And this is where I had. Oh, let's go back to the website. I want to show you that. But this is where everything on my website got born. Excuse me while I'm. Oh, there we are. Well, it's going to play with that. And there it is. Got it. Okay. Well, this is where Synergy Solutions became. Let me talk about the order. First, there was Decode Your Pain. Then became the concept of transformations, which is my walkthrough process of the concepts in this book, applying it into your own. Then from there came something called Becoming Your Own Healer. And this is where I teach the self-healing techniques from things that you have heard that are free online, like Emotional Freedom Technique, which is amazing. The Fast Technique is the public part of Neuro-Emotional Technique. This is where all this phenomenal research and the holistic mind-body approaches, and we're seeing changes faster than any medication there. Holistically, no side effects besides personal freedom and emotional relief. And anyway, with that being said, then came Synergy Solutions, and that's what I have here for you on the website. Again, this is where I have a group of doctors that come together every week, Wednesdays. And for those that are comfortable, this makes sense. We get on and remote heal each other as a group of doctors focusing on specific targets. And then there's a added benefit to it. There's a synergistic effect. There's a combining of energies that has a grander effect. And we're getting to solidify the research with that. And so that being said, after Synergy Solutions, because this is all about releasing the problem. And this is what I found. I was stuck in my own problem of identifying the problem. But then I was like, oh yeah, we have to orient ourselves towards solution. And that, came about some challenging ways because of my own personal story, which I had to shift my story. And this is why I highlighted this tonight. Was I believed that people were interfering with my plan of business growth in my career. Now I had tons of evidence, but just because I had a core belief of this, core concept of this, which changed how I looked at the rest of life. Gave me my perceptions and conceptions, expectations and choices and decisions. So literally, no matter what I did, because it was subconscious, I was attracting that. So through deep work, meditation, introspecting, journaling, and all these things that we can talk about, personal growth weekends, stuff like that. We shift the story. And then my new story became those peoples and situations were guiding me to where my career needs and goals, and I had that, my goals, my beliefs, my dreams, my desires, where they needed to be. Although this is a subtle difference, it put me in the driver's seat, made me see the opportunities were always there. That's what I want for you. I want you to see that the opportunity is there, but you have to go for it, despite fear. Face everything and rise. Fear. Face everything and rise. Type that in. Hashtag fear. Face everything. It's a big concept. And I'm here, and I took a picture, and my friend just came by. She borrowed a book, and I have it right here. And I wanted to share it with you because pointed it out. I was like, oh my gosh, I need to talk about this tonight. It's about our false self and our real self. It's about this concept that we're all one. If you heard of, you type in hashtag one. If you've heard that, type in hashtag one, that we're all one. We're all connected in some way. Okay. And help me out, help the algorithm out, help people connect to this concept, this message. We're all one here. Okay. So the story is we have our ego self. That's where all our problems and our destruction and everything generates from. This all the manifestation stuff. However, our true self, this is what I wanted to read because I'm into this idea of we have to focus ourselves where we want to be and keep driving towards that, regardless of what keeps showing up, because it's all showing up to help you be that. To return to wholeness with the W. HOLE. Whole. Full. Round. Complete. Your true self. I'm not reading, okay? Your true self here, which is your spirit, your soul, is completely free of those things. It is immune to criticism. It is unfearful of any challenge, and it fears beneath no one. It means less than. Everyone's at equal status. Continue. And yet, it is also humble and feels superior to no one because it recognizes that everyone else is the same self, same spirit, in different disguises. That's the eternal difference between the objective referral and the self-referral. Sorry, missed the term there for you. The objective referral is the ego self, how we claim ourselves to be better than, less than, in every iteration in between, in whatever area of life. We all wear hundreds of hats. The student, the teacher, the brother. I'll list some of my hats here, right? The son, the brother, the father, the partner, the ex, the teacher, the healer, the doctor, the student, friend, family member, neighbor, cousin, uncle, relative, extended, acquaintance, enemy, mind, body, spirit. I mean, there's literally hundreds and hundreds of roles. We can start to iterate. Employer, manager, coach, team player, teammate. All these things, we have these hats, and each of us has a belief about each of those hats. So it gets into this interesting conundrum of who we are and what we are. So what I invite you to consider is knowing, feeling what makes you happy, knowing what makes you happy, moving continually into that direction at all times. And when something upsets you, we'll recognize there's things that you can do and learn to alleviate that or resolve that or never have to deal with that again. All of those things. I'll encourage you to go to the website, follow the links in the chat, take action on something that intrigues you. Number of offerings there, and everyone's on a different path of the road. However, I'll use a sports analogy. If you know who Michael Jordan is, he went back to the basics all the time. And so as we go through this material, I go through it routinely. In fact, we're about to kick off. Yes, here it is. Excuse me 1 second. Lean in. Here it is. We're teaching the work here, laws of success. And there's lots of different iterations of material around this. And we're going into our 4th season. That starts in a couple weeks here. Right now, we're about to go live tonight, 8 o'clock. We're talking about the next phase. We have the internet version. We help people through all kinds of online content. People go to the website. There is, and it's being filled in right now, the offline members area where all the videos, education materials are maintained. I'll pull it up for you. We'll be getting access through much of this, and that's the spot. Excuse me. Oh, I'll have to back out and fix that. All right, so we'll stick it here. We'll wrap things up. We're getting to the time anyway. So that being said, we have the physical component. There's going to be there's a lot. The next phase of this is unfolding now as we speak. And for those of you who are in New Jersey, reach out to an email, whatever it may be. We have a new monthly farmers market, open air, open face. For those that like that, those who don't, that's okay. Investigate, wonder. I invite you to ask questions and wonder why this is going on, how it's going on. If this intrigues you, we have recorded webinars and videos and resources and data and information for you. My goodness, we want people to have the right information so they can make the right choice for their mind, their body, their spirit, their soul. And from there, if you're doing that, then you're on the right path. I can't tell you what to do. I want to make sure that we have authentic information that then you can make. And if you would desire help along that path, well, then we have systems and people ready to catch you and bring you in and help you get to the right spot. In fact, much of that, if you go to the website that's scrolling on the bottom there, is a opportunity to speak to me personally, to register, secure a time with me where we have a Clarity Breakthrough coaching call. Where in fact, once you book your call, there's a series of questions to answer where you can give me detailed information on where you're needing to go, and then I can help you have these breakthrough moments. Talk to you about the different varieties of coaching programs that we have as far as how we nurture people along this path of awakening, healing the physical body. So, welcome you to take action on that. Thank you for your time. If you got some benefit out of this, give a thumbs up, give a share. Let a friend know that this is going on. Go to the website, take action for yourself, because I rise by helping others rise to their greatest self. Blessings and best regards, everybody. I'm Dr. Kevin.
Hello and welcome. I'm Dr. Kevin Jarena. This is the first introductory video in becoming your own healer.